It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Hey, it's your Real Estate Breakfast back for the weekend, breaking down for you the Australian property market. Got another busy Saturday morning property show coming up. We have an update for Aussie investors who are in the Dubai property market. Already, many Aussie residents have moved back to Australia along with the thousands of tourists. And we're going to be heading off this morning to London to catch up with Mario Volpe, who is normally based in Dubai. We've spoken to Mario before. And Ronnie is also going to be joining us for the reaction of expats in the UK with regard to Dubai and what that public sentiment is feeling like. So that is on the way. And if you are in Australia thinking about listing your property, remember, we are not a real estate company, but we do have this curated list of real estate professionals who we trust. It's always a problem when it comes to agent selection because there are hundreds in any one city. There are tens of thousands across Australia. Then you've got the real estate agencies themselves. It can become a real problem. But because we are talking to those high achievers, and they're not necessarily from large agencies, we also talk to award-winning principals throughout the country, and we can make that process of connection a lot easier. All you've got to do is email us to myrealestatepodcast@gmail.com. Tell us the area that you are in and we can help make that connection. It is a Saturday, 21st day of March. If you're celebrating a birthday today, many happy returns. Ayrton Senna, the legendary 3 times Formula One world champion, he would have been celebrating today. He's no longer with us, of course. On this day back in 2006, Twitter is officially launched, reshaping global communications, they say. Really? I have never used it to this day. Don't plan to. And it's a big weekend in Melbourne because they've got the Melbourne Food and Wine Festival on, and it's running right across this weekend. It is one of the city's biggest lifestyle events, featuring top chefs, local producers, and pop-up dining experiences across Melbourne. So good luck if you're heading off there.
You're listening to the Saturday Property Market Update.
Now, in the last 24 hours, drone activity across the UAE has once again heightened this evolving nature of regional tensions. While defence systems have intercepted the majority of these incoming threats, the impact is still being felt throughout disrupted flights, heightened security and that growing public awareness. For many residents and investors, it's not necessarily the physical damage that concerns them, but the unpredictability, and that is the big one right now. Ronnie, let me come to you because you've got a backstory. You came into Dubai in 2012, set up a real estate company. Why did you come into the UAE back in 2012? What was it?
Well, it actually goes further back than 2012. I started visiting Dubai as a holiday destination with my family in 1998, believe it or not. I immediately fell in love with the place. Went there 2 or 3 times a year, really enjoyed the experience. My kids pretty much grew up in the marina, albeit that we were tourists as opposed to residents. We always stayed in the same hotel, always had brilliant experiences with the levels of service and overall experience for the family, safe environment, 5-star luxury. It was absolutely fabulous. And then I decided in 2010 with my family that what we decide to do is move out, lock, stock and barrel, move out to Dubai and set up a property company. I've always been involved in property, both in London and further afield. So decided to set up in a new continent, in a city that I'd never worked in before in real terms, but we took our heart in our hands and decided to open up and never looked back. It was a fabulous journey.
Now, tell us a little about what you're hearing, because you're still working in real estate there in London. What is the sentiment from expats, either people that are still in Dubai or people that you are communicating with in London? Give us sort of the flavour of what is happening.
Yeah, from a expat perspective, there was a mass exodus over the last, 2 years from London, moving to Dubai for all of the reasons that most people do, and that is tax efficiency, quality lifestyle, and safety, and a great educational environment if you are going out there with a family. So expats now that I've spoken to in London, I've spoken to a few who have just moved back. They are literally watching to see how things develop. As a family man, you have an absolute determination to look after your children, your wife, your husband, and make sure that they are as safe as possible. The feeling is the people that I've spoken to will look at this situation as it unfolds within the region and then make a call on whether they're going to either go back to Dubai when it's become prudent to do so, or take another avenue, either come back to London or the UK or move to another destination.
Have you spoken to anybody that has said, I want to cash out of Dubai?
I've yet to have that shared with me as an option because I think it's too early to say, and a lot of people are taking that stance. I think if you look at it from a pragmatic point of view, obviously, as Mario said earlier, this is the first time that Dubai has been embroiled in any situation that has unfolded in the Middle East. It's a safe haven and people gravitate towards Dubai as being the Switzerland of the Middle East, being a neutral destination, if you will, politically as well as geographically. It's a wonderfully located city. So from that perspective, I've yet to come across anybody who said, look, I've had enough, I'm leaving, it's too uncertain for me and I'm cashing out.
Let's go to you, Mario, the Switzerland of the Middle East. Nice one, Ronnie. I have to say, I have never heard anybody say that, but you probably have, Mario.
I have, Craig. It's something I've used myself. We were able to use that term before because, as I said, despite all the chaos that perhaps that region has had over the years, we've never been involved. And that's why it rang true. It's an expression, I think, now that probably can't be used because clearly we are involved when it comes to American bases in the region potentially being used or deployed in the conflict with Iran. So when Sheikh Khalifa actually passed away and his brother Mohammed bin Zayed took over, I knew that the emphasis shifted a little bit because we went from Abu Dhabi being run like Dubai, which is very much run like a business, to more military stance because Mohammed bin Zayed is a military man. And that expression probably was then going to be put away into a drawer, probably never to be used again.
And Ronnie's saying that it's very much that let's just wait and see. Nobody has said, I'm going to cash up, sell out and move either to London or wherever they may have come from. You're in London, as I mentioned, so you're getting, over the last couple of days, maybe you're starting to talk to some people with the vibe of how they are reacting. So is there anything that you would like to share with those that are around the world listening in and what some of those thoughts are coming out of London?
Well, yeah, I'm talking to a few people and what I'm seeing is a lot more inquiries are coming from the UAE to London real estate in terms of maybe following up on rented accommodation because people have moved out of Dubai whilst they take this wait and see approach. So obviously people are looking maybe to bed down here as the dust settles. But what I'm also hearing is, every day these sort of drone attacks are still happening. Before I left for London, we got to a period where I woke up thinking, oh, that was a quiet night. I didn't hear any sirens. I didn't hear any alerts. It's an ongoing thing, which is a sad state of affairs. I'm really not sure when that end is sight. It's clear that there are less attacks, if you like, from the beginning. But even so, when you look at the statistics, the UAE has been fired upon the most. And you start to wonder who's the war actually against, because when you add up all the attacks for all the other countries, the UAE still has had more sort of retaliatory attacks directed at it compared to all the other countries, which is a little strange for me.
And Ronnie, could you ever have imagined that we would be in this situation where you've got America acting in the way that they are? You'd just never be able to forecast the string of events, and it is all around Trump. If you take Trump out of the equation, this would not be taking place, and we're very much in uncharted territory. You weren't there by the sound of it when the GFC struck, but you were certainly there to see some of the after effects of the GFC, particularly Dubai. This has got all the makings of something that could be a lot worse than the GFC. Is that something that's kind of crossed your mind?
Absolutely. I think, as mentioned earlier, Dubai as a city has always been seen as a neutral destination that you can feel safe and very comfortable. And if you remove that safety blanket, if you will, then that really does change the dynamic of the destination and the city as a whole. Absolutely. The longer this situation continues, the deeper the scars are going to be in terms of investor sentiment and general tourism, which obviously is the initial interaction people have with a city and when they fall in love with it and then eventually look at either investing or moving to the city permanently.
Yeah, that's the one to watch, is the public sentiment, because the tentacles with that public sentiment is connected to everything when it comes to the UAE. And that is going to wrap us up, fellas, on our Saturday morning property show. Enjoy your weekend, Ronnie, and thank you so much for coming on to the Real Estate Breakfast this morning.
Well, that's very kind of you, Craig, and thank you for the invitation.
And likewise, Mario, travel safe.
Thanks, Craig, and stay safe to all the listeners.
From the emotion of property, the economic inflation, managing your expectations, lack of stock, price growth, construction appetite, days on the market. Stay informed with us and know your property.
Around 97.5% of house resales and 88.3% of unit resales are turning a profit. Plenty of decent money being made around the country from these resales.
Good morning. Look, it's a significant amount of wealth really being generated by Australians' housing market. You know, it does reflect the years of price growth that we've seen. So it means that you're reaping the benefits of multiple property price cycles, which is why we've got that record profit for houses on the national level, as you mentioned, $440,000.
Brisbane and Perth, now they're leading the current wave of housing wealth creation. Both cities recorded 99.5% of house resales at a profit, meaning almost every seller walked away ahead.
As you mentioned, that's the vast majority of sales recording a profit. And what we've got, when you look at Brisbane, the resale for houses, that median profit was $580,000.
Of course, the higher income buyers, they're now accessing low deposit schemes, which is fueling it.
Absolutely, and this was always going to be the problem. The government has interfered to the point where they have an almost unmoderated scheme to help people get into the market, and it's the very people who don't really need that help who are accessing it now.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.